Okay.
All right. Hello. This is an unnamed podcast for now. We'll see what we call it. The word is the current name, but This is my friend Evan Kraus.
I'm Evan Kraus. We have to brainstorm some ideas, but right now we're thinking about the word podcast. But essentially, this started a while ago. Louis texted me asking if this would be a good idea. Whether anybody watched it or not doesn't really matter to us. Just kind of, worst comes to worst, the situation. We look back 30 years from now, it was something we did, what we talked about, who was playing, where our lives were, stuff like that. So,
just kind of running through time. I mean, we'll get to even if it doesn't work out, we're not trying to get popular. This is just for fun.
Right, that's exactly it. Again, if worst comes to worst, we get to talk about football. It gives us a reason to see each other. So, because we're both pretty busy now with the start of my career.
Start of lives.
Yeah, just really getting into it. So
for sure.
We can talk about us first. This is my friend Louis. Obviously, as you haven't heard, I'm Evan. We have a bit of an unorthodox relationship, I guess you could say. I started, gosh, how many years ago now? We talked about this before.
So we met at McDonald's.
We both worked at McDonald's, exactly.
And a hometown close to, in between our both hometowns, actually.
Yep.
And I think I was 18 or 19, because you're what? You're 22 now?
I'm 22 now.
And I'm 24.
So
I was 18 probably.
Right. I got freshly hired, kind of met him and a bunch of other group of people. I definitely thought of him as a pretty cool person. We got pretty close like that. And then after he kind of stepped away from that due to his own personal reasons, we still stayed close. He was having some complications as to what he wanted to do for college and kind of where he wanted to take his life. I had started Herkimer for physical education. I was getting right into my life right after high school. So I remember texting you, and I was like, hey, me and Matt are going to college, going to Herkimer. If you want to join, we'd love to have you. So he came there, and that was a lot of fun. We played some golf together there. We had a lot of really cool times. Then the same thing, personal reasons, you kind of stepped away from that. We went to not a bit of a tougher time in our relationship, but it was like we saw each other less. Like there was probably months on end we didn't see each other. And that was definitely weird because it's like I really enjoyed the difference that our friendship gave me compared to my normal friends. Like I have a really tight friend group, and we're all pretty like similar in our interests and kind of how we go about our life. And then Louis was a very, very different than that. Still similar interests, but it's definitely different. Like the age dynamic, mind you, I'm 22.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm 24.
24.
We're just 2 years separate.
Right, but it wasn't like we grew up together. Like all my friends are like born and raised. Like whereas
town.
Louis was like a quick friendship that really, really grew in the best way possible, obviously. So that had happened. Then it was very natural. Exactly. Very natural. We always could be able to talk to each other for just hours on end about something super serious or, kind of unimportant. But yeah, so then, like I said, then we kind of got closer again once certain things happened. Just gained a relationship again. Again, we got him back into college. Then we ended up going to Cortland together, which is super exciting. We got to live together.
It was really fun.
That was awesome.
Got to watch football together.
To
bet together. Got to
bet together.
Do a lot together.
Oh, every day was like just something new, and that definitely like we were close, but that added a whole new layer.
Golf team together. I made a golf team. I had to actually try out for the first time for a golf team. That was fun. That was a big step for me.
Right.
Because this dude's a scratch golfer basically. So
I play a lot. I should be good.
Yeah, you're pretty good. So,
but yeah, and that was awesome. And then kind of since Cortland, we see each other. I mean, God, weekly we have to, right? It's awesome. So yeah, all good things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little bit about us. I'm sure there'll be more stories that we'll think of, but that's kind of just the general consensus of how we became friends.
Quick rundown, of it. That's perfect.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy spending time together. So.
And sports kind of bring us together.
Right,
like,
that's exactly it.
We both liked each other, or we both liked sports. Pause, bro, pause. We both liked sports, obviously. Growing up, I've watched sports since I was born. My dad is the reason I have all my favorite sports teams, which are all the New York teams, except for the Yankees. We don't like the Yankees.
No, he's a Mets.
Go Mets.
For me, my story about sports, like I'm football through and through. Like I have favorite basketball teams. I have baseball, and I'm a Yankee fan, Celtics fan, and then Detroit Lions. If you can't tell, like he's all New York, about Knicks, Giants. We say New York, but there's also 6 New York teams. I can't say that.
Giants, Mets, Islanders, but I don't really follow hockey.
Right? No, hockey's not us. And the same thing with him. Like he's really big into basketball. He loves his Knicks. Like
I do love basketball.
I would rather see like I don't know. I'd rather see the Lions win on a Sunday than the Celtics win. Celtics win.
You wouldn't even care if they won a championship.
No, when they won, like it's cool, but it's not. It's nothing.
You'd much rather even just see Detroit Lions win on a regular Sunday.
I'd rather see the Lions
1 o'clock game doesn't matter.
Right. I'd rather see the Lions beat the Packers than the Celtics win the chip. So that's a lot of it for me. For those of you who don't know me, you're probably wondering how I became a Lion fan. My whole family's Dolphin fans. Again, really weird. We live in
Brutal, by the way.
All in New York, and we're all a messed up family.
Boo.
Yeah, all right. But they're all Dolphin fans, and at a young age, I was watching it with him, and I don't know if it was a sense of a 6-year-old that wanted independence and this, that, and the other thing, but I told my dad, I was like, I want to like my own team. Like, I have to like my own team. I don't want to watch the Dolphins anymore. Me, at the age of 6, I don't know how I thought of these things, but I still remember him saying to me, he's like, if you're going to like a team, you're going to stick with that team. Because he goes, I don't want somebody who changes teams, a front runner. He goes, you pick a team and you stick with that team. And that's how it should be. I will make sure I tell my son the same thing.
Can't switch.
I hate it.
That's gross.
For me, for the love I have for the Lions, I just can't imagine one day being like, I think I'm going to like a different team now. Like, obviously there's teams I root for.
It's impossible.
Players I root for. But when it comes to the Lions, it's just different. So I remember I used to have these little football helmets, and I saw the Lions football helmet. I thought it was really cool. And I was like, I should like these guys. And it was like, mind you, this is right after our 0-16 season.
Yeah,
so
brutal.
Stafford's rookie
Worst
year.
team in the league.
Yeah, and my dad's just like, yep, go with it. I think he wanted me to feel the same pain that he does as a Dolphin fan. Yeah. But yeah, so I've liked him ever since. I've liked him, so I was 6, I'm 22 now. So it's my 16th year liking him.
Rooting for him, yeah.
16th, doesn't matter.
No,
so I've been through the ups and downs. I've watched, I want to say almost about every game. I really don't like to miss games unless something absolutely comes in the way, golf tournament or something along those lines. But like I said, for me, the love I have for football, just football in general, whether it be watching, fantasy, betting, whatever it is, I would rather watch my least favorite team play football than my favorite team play basketball or baseball. That's how strong it is for me, at least. I know he's a big basketball guy.
I love basketball. Basketball is my number one, but football and basketball are right there. Right. And with the season switching, I change. With what I care about.
Like the first week of NFL is like, just the
my gosh, when the games came back. So this is, we should probably say what day it is.
Yeah, it's September 6th right now.
September 6th, the Saturday after the Friday night game between the Chiefs and the Chargers, where the Chargers came out with the win. Looked fantastic. Herbert looked fantastic.
It did. So we're 2 games in. Cowboy game against the Eagles, and then
Cowboys looked really good.
And then the Brazil game Friday, which that was quite unique.
Weird.
Speaking of which, side story. I saw a TikTok that the Chargers traveling to Brazil and back, it was like 10,000 miles. They traveled 10,000 miles for that one trip. That's more than the Bengals have to travel this entire season.
Really?
Entire season.
Yeah, because they're all condensed. Yeah, and
just based on their away games are so close. The farthest they travel,
and it was their home game.
To Florida. Yeah,
it was their home.
Yeah,
game.
that's Chargers.
And it was more Chiefs.
Right?
Yeah, it was more Chiefs fans there than anything. They were rooting for.
There was
It should be. But I mean, there was a pop every time Mahomes did anything.
Well, it's because they win. People in other countries are probably going to root for the winners. Like, why would you not?
Whatsoever.
So that was just a little side story. Giants. How?
Giants. So my dad's a Giants fan. Since he was born, as far as I know, my grandparents are not sports fans at all. My dad's the first one, and pretty much he's the only one in the entire family that cares about sports at all. So I got it all from him. And when I was younger, I became a Giants fan because of him, and he was like, thankfully, I was like 6 when we won in 2007. So, and I do remember that. And then in 2011 we won, and I remember that pretty well as well. And those are probably the first Super Bowl might be my earliest memory I have.
Really?
Of sports, like of professional sports and of the Giants. It's got to be my earliest memory.
Right.
And that was a really good time watching it in the living room with my family. And the Giants just have been. I mean, we sucked for a while since we lost Eli. It's been pretty terrible. Daniel Jones was terrible. Talk about that another day, probably.
Right. Daniel Jones conversation.
The Giants. I mean, I'm sticking with them. It hurts sometimes, but
you can't change now. No, that's what you're kind of supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to root for the team that your dad likes and stuff like that. I think
I went the normal way.
Generic way. Who does my dad like? Who can I root for? And the thing is, I do love the Lions, and I love like the journey I've had with them, kind of. But there is part of me that kind of looks back and regrets not being able to root for like who my dad likes and go to games with him and be like, follow the same team. Like, I still love to watch the Dolphins. We've still been at countless Dolphin games together. I'm always rooting for them. I'm wearing their stuff, but they're not my team, right? So we do share the love and we can have conversations, but it's not my team. And there is part of me that looks back and was like, maybe I should just like the Dolphins. Now, mind you, they both Dolphins have been consistently mid for so many years, always 500, whereas Lions are like,
I mean, they've been terrible forever.
Terrible, mid, now, just making the playoffs.
Yeah. With Matt Stafford forever, it was just making the playoffs. But he had one playoff win, I think, with you guys?
No, none. His first playoff win was on the Rams. He never had one. We played 3. It was against the Saints, Seahawks, and Cowboys. It was the 3 playoff games we had, and we lost all of them. And I can still remember most of them. Oh, yeah.
Torched. Cowboys.
But yeah, so, I mean, speaking of Matt Stafford, just for preface, he is my all-time favorite player. I mean, I love the way he plays. He's the one guy you always see on TikTok where it's like, oh, who would you defend like this? My guy is Matt Stafford. And I bring it back to the 8th grade days at the lunch table. I'm laying my life out for Matt Stafford. I'll tell everybody to the day I die that he is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. I mean, the same thing. I was having conversations with Nordy when he first got traded to the Rams. I'm like, trust me. I promise you, you give him a good team, he will make a run. He goes
and he did. First year with the Rams.
Right. And I'm not going to say Nordy.
It doesn't happen in the NFL. It doesn't happen in
back-to-back years. Stafford then Brady.
Oh yeah, that's
true. They switched teams.
That is true.
That's why. And honestly, I think they almost kind of started a trend because then after that, you see a lot of teams that tried to hunted for old guys to try to have, like, let's say they had a really good roster, they would hunt for these old veterans that can take them there. You're gonna
with Rodgers, the Rodgers hunt.
Matt Ryan did it with the Colts. Philip Rivers did it with the Colts.
Yep, with the Colts. The Colts
saw a bunch of different teams that were in really good shape to try to win. Like, they just had a good talented roster, and they say, well, we just saw the Rams and Buccaneers bring in a 33 plus old quarterback, and they won a Super Bowl.
Brings in other free agents too, like Gronk went with the Buccaneers, Antonio Brown went, Leonard Fournette went. I think they got a couple of defensive
Dominic
guys.
Sue.
Yeah, Dominic Sue went there. Yeah,
bunch of old heads. They come together and they were playing. They took out every last ounce of football they had.
It's their last chance. It was like last hurrah, go for it.
That's exactly it. So yeah. So that's he's my all-time favorite player. But like with our success, I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of heartbreakers. The Thursday night Hail Mary game.
Brutal.
I still remember that game. To this day, I remember that game.
I was rooting for the Packers that day.
You're just a bad person.
My mom's a Packers fan.
Packers fan, actual or like?
She's not. She's a Packers fan because she likes Brett Favre. Like, she used to like Brett Favre.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Rodgers was big in our household. We were big Rodgers fans for a while. Less so now.
I don't hate anybody on this earth, but I really dislike Aaron Rodgers. I think the thing is, I just don't like the way he I don't like his social media presence is the way he holds himself. I'm just not a fan of him. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
He's also caused me a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of missed playoffs, a lot of
division rival forever.
Yeah,
you should dislike him as a quarterback. At least.
Yeah, I just like him as a person too, I think.
Yeah, I know, which doesn't make it easier.
Which doesn't make it any easier. Like again, you have guys like Josh Allen who, like, if you're a Dolphin fan or a Jet fan, you're supposed to hate Josh Allen.
Dislike him. Yeah,
but man, he's such a good person, so it's so hard to. But Aaron Rodgers, he makes it very.
It's easy to dislike that guy. It's really easy.
It makes it really easy to dislike him. But yeah, the last couple of years we've owned him. It's been a lot of fun to watch us be successful. Sure. It's definitely been a really unique experience as a fan to go into a season and expect to win, expect to be good. That's really weird. I remember me and him went to a Giants-Lions game the year we went 9-8 and knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. Yeah. One of the best games.
Big win.
And I go and watch Jamal Williams, 3 touchdowns, and I'm like, we had...
He had 3 touchdowns against us?
Yeah, we beat you guys by a million.
I know, you guys whooped us. It was was it like 40-20 or something?
It wasn't that bad. It was like 30s to low teens.
Like 17. Or something
like that. Either way, but that was the year that he set the record. And I remember watching this team, I'm like, man, Goff is really coming into his own. We're starting to get the pieces. He's fitting the culture. And I'm like, this could be really good. And then that offseason, all I'm hearing is the Lions are going to be the sleeper team. And then we end up going 12-5 that year. Then we get our first playoff win. Yep. Then we get our second playoff win, both at home.
And then
actually
the Niners
thanking the Packers for knocking out the Cowboys for us to get there.
Cooked them.
That was a fun year. And then then I had the most.
You were up at halftime.
That was to this date the most heartbreaking loss I've ever had. Like, last year hurt because we were supposed to win, but that game knowing we had that game in our hands and, a costly fumble and some really unfortunate sequence of events that happened in the second half. Yeah. I watched with my family, and then I had to drive an hour back home.
Brutal. Because you were
in the pouring rain at Cortland.
You were driving to Cortland, yeah.
Then we had to get out of the car and walk back to our dorms a mile away in the pouring rain. That night could not have gotten any worse. Then to wake up the next day and you have to go to school the next day on Monday. It was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences.
I didn't want to text you, but I did end up texting you, and I was like, "I'm sorry. I think I apologized. It was so long ago."
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for me, like, if you beat my team on that,
I haven't really experienced that. I haven't really experienced it. Like the Giants, when I was younger, won the Super Bowl both times, and the last time we were in the playoffs, we got whooped by the Packers.
Right.
And we weren't going to win. We weren't going to win. We're good, yeah. And we had no chance, basically.
Right. And I think the thing is, with like when we made it to the playoffs with Stafford, like it was always Stafford. It was a Stafford show. We had no run game, no defense. So it's just like, could he outscore the other team? And
he had to win it with his arm. The defense wasn't always the best. I mean, he had Ndamukong Suh for a little bit, but there really wasn't a lot of missed drafts. He would get
suspended with the stomping.
Because he was an idiot.
Either way,
like Jalen Carter.
It was the Matt Stafford show. He's throwing for 5,000 yards, battling to get in the playoffs. So the thing is, when you're supposed to win, it hurts so much more.
To lose, yes.
We weren't supposed to win that Niner game. We were supposed to get killed. But then when we had the game in our hands,
big lead at halftime.
We lost it. They didn't beat us. We lost.
We lost the game. Yeah, you lost the game.
You know what I mean? We caused those events to happen. Like if they just outplayed us in the second half, McCaffrey has a day. That's fine. We lost that game. I was more hurt at that game than I was last year, just because last year it just never felt right from the start of that game. How explosive their offense was against
they got a hot, damaged, beaten, battered defense. You had nobody left. Defense. The Hutch injury was brutal, and you lost Van Ginkel? No, Van Ginkel's on the Vikings. Who was the?
Anzalone.
Yeah,
Anzalone. He was just coming back off forearm injury. Either way, it was just a lot going on. I think it was
so many injuries.
8 or 9 of the starters we had from the start of the season were hurt for that game. But I'm not going to blame that. You know what I mean? No. They outplayed us. They just killed us.
Rookie Jane Daniels looked great. Great coaching. I mean, just a tough loss.
It just hurt. I was more frustrated that game. I was more mad because I just knew what was to come. Like the year with the Niners, like being able to make it to the Super Bowl, like that game hurt so much because it's like we weren't supposed to win, but we had the game in our hands. This last one, like I'm smack talking. I'm like, we are gonna win this game. We can easily make it to the Super Bowl. This is our year. We're 15-2. Everything fit the mold. Like I was questioning our defense, and then they played so incredible against the Vikings, and that 14-2 versus 14-2, and I'm like, this is it. We got a week rest.
This is the time.
Anzalone's coming back. I'm like, we finally get to be able to chill, and then we just come out flat.
Yeah,
flat.
You knew you had to. It was a track meet. It was always going to be a race. You needed to keep up with that offense, knowing your defense is battered, and I think there was an interception in there and just a couple.
Yeah, the pick six. The pick six. That's one where Goff got rocked and he had to go get concussion protocol. Teddy Bridgewater comes out for a few. Either way.
And that's how you know it's just off to the wrong start and you're never catching up.
Oh, yeah. We tried to do a trick play with JMO. It was a whole lot of things that happened.
A lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and it just hurts. It sucks. Like, because now we come back this year and now everybody's, last year was like, that was our year. Now everybody's talking this year. The Bears
now
are
it's
so much
the
better.
Packers.
The Packers
is
are so
like
much better.
the best NFC team now. Everyone's saying like they're shooing them in, and
a lot of analysts.
Their defense is great. They have a lot of Pro Bowlers on the roster, but the wide receiver core is still kind of up in the air. Who knows if Golden's going to be actually a legit talent in the NFL? Who really knows? He did a lot of disappearing acts in college, so it's hard to know. But they have a lot of talent.
It's hard too because you see the talent that Jane Reed does have. Like you watch him at the beginning of last year, he was the wide receiver 1 in fantasy for the first 4 or 5 weeks. Explosive. He can do so many things. He's like if you took like Turpin or you took like Worthy, and he has that talent where he can do the end arounds. He has the explosive speed. The JMO, a little bit worse than JMO.
He's smaller, shorter,
But like he has that power. He can catch a good ball, and then
injuries.
They kind of go away from him a little. Injuries,
a lot of injuries.
Right.
The Packers dealt with a ton of injuries, a lot of drops. Dontavian Wicks was dropping,
especially in the wide receiver room.
No wide receivers, and they had Tucker Kraft was injured, and he was just like they lost it a little bit, and a lot of injuries. But this year they're healthy, and we'll see what happens.
Right, that's exactly it. So the thing is with that is like I see all these analysts picking the Packers, and obviously they're a lot better with Micah Parsons. Don't get me wrong.
Big addition.
I'm sitting there doing some homework, and I just get a buzz, and Micah Parsons traded the Packers. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But the thing is, I understand we lost our coaches. I understand that we lost a lot of firepower and Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, you lose your coaches, and that's a big reason why you guys are like plummeting in expectation.
Which is like, I understand we lose our coaches, but like we didn't win games off trick plays, right? Obviously, Aaron Glenn's incredible. I love the way I love the presence of him and Ben Johnson. I love them as coaches. I'm not trying to put them down. But they're going to be good coaches. They're not going out on the field and doing the things that
you still have the talent on the roster, and you have an abundance of talent on the roster, especially offensively.
And Aaron Glenn is incredible. He had a really cool defensive scheme for us, but it shows that if injuries happen and certain situations happen, you just can't you can only out coach so much, right? We still have to have the pieces. So
100%.
We have guys. We didn't bring in anybody new. We just had other guys already in our organization get brought up. That's how I wanted it. I don't want to bring in another guy to learn the Detroit Lion culture. I want guys who have been there, have been with us these last 4 years of incredible change with Goff and everything that's been incredible. So, like right now, we're like, I think I was looking at the apps and we're projected, 10.5 is the over under.
Insane for me.
It feels low.
It feels like it should be 11.5. Right, I think 12 should be the number.
11.5. I guess 10.5 is a good number, but it just to hear that they think we're going to get 11 wins or 10 wins, I don't know. That gets us into the playoffs, but I don't know if 11-6 wins us the division. And
11-6 does not.
So we're not projected to be the division winner. Like, come on.
4 losses probably win the division. 13 wins. 13 wins will get you there. It's just a tough division. Like you said, the Bears are good, but the Bears are projected to be better. Right. But who knows? They weren't very. How many wins did they have last year? 4 or 5?
That's something we have to look up.
Yeah.
We can always look that up. But it was a lot less than I thought. The same thing with the Vikings. Everybody's projecting to get 4 wins.
They still have an unproven quarterback. J.J. McCarthy is unproven in the NFL level.
They were projected 4. Last year they were supposed to be terrible. Sam Darnold.
And nobody likes him.
4 wins. And they won 14. So analysts know a lot. They know a lot more than we do. But at the end of the day, no one really knows.
No, it's always a pot shot. I mean, Dallas was projected to be pretty bad, especially their defense, and they looked great against the Eagles' offense. I think their front line, their defensive line held up really well, and their secondary held up really well.
Clark.
Yeah, Kenny Clark.
But he didn't. I mean, they did well. But
compared to last year, they dominated. I mean, Saquon only had 60 rushing yards.
Yeah, but do you think the Eagles were on the top of their game?
Definitely not.
No,
I don't think so.
Saquon looked a little flat out there.
A.J. Brown was never targeted.
Non-existent. Devontae Smith was kind of non-existent. It was a lot.
Running cardio out there. There's a lot of Jalen Hurts scrambles.
It's a lot of Jalen Hurts doing it all.
Jalen Hurts scrambles.
Yeah.
And who knows if that's his decision-making or if the play calling is like, because I think they lost their play caller, didn't they? Or no?
Who?
Yeah, they have a different play caller now, the Eagles, don't they?
The Eagles, yes, they lost.
Yeah, this is where we need our.
We have to look him up.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Is he the Saints head coach, or was that the Cowboys offensive coordinator?
I can't. Either way, we know for a fact they did lose. I did see that when I was watching the game, but
that's a different guy, and obviously, like, I'm not a big fan of Sirianni personally, but I am a Giants fan. Like I don't like Sirianni, but
I'm a Lion fan and I don't like Sirianni.
He's not the he was a wide receiver, I think, in college or whatever, D2 or whatever, but like he's not a big offensive mind to me. He relies on, he's just kind of like a dude out there.
He just
it just doesn't feel right.
His presence, I'm not a huge fan of him. The way he talks to the fans and he's like taunting them. It
was gross last year.
A head coach, you're supposed to have integrity, you're supposed to have like respect, and you're supposed to have like, I don't know, you're supposed to have this edge to you. Like when I look at Dan Campbell.
We love Dan Campbell. We love Dan Campbell.
Just the way he holds himself and the way he brings culture. That's what I look for.
He's almost crying at victories. Like he sees his team like.
Sirianni's taunting fans. Come on. When are you going to grow up? He thinks he looks like a kid out there.
It's insane.
Yeah.
He gets too personal with the fans. It's like you made mistakes and that happens and the fans are holding you accountable. That's why they're there.
Right. Let's try to get back on track. Let's talk about our expectations for our divisions.
Team and my team.
So Lions. Like I said, a lot of the sports betting apps have us, like I said, we talked about 10.5. And I don't hate that, but it's hard because our division's so tough because it's so sporadic. Like I wish honestly, we could probably check. If you want to check computer, I can check my phone. I'm curious to see. Oh, look. Let's just look at FanDuel. What division do they have now projected to win? After the Micah Parsons, or what team do they have to win our divisions after the Micah Parsons?
The Packers for sure.
You think?
Guaranteed.
Really?
Absolutely. I know for sure because the Packers are third in Super Bowl favorites.
Let's check divisions. Let's see if you can guess this. Okay, we'll do a fun game here. We'll expectations. Let's do a little trivia. Flashback to our college days.
We love
trivia. It's like we
did it at work
live
a few
and
times.
die off trivia. It is so much fun. It passes time. It gets us, like, especially when we work together, it would just get us through.
We would do the top 12 running backs, top 12 wide receivers
for fantasy. PPR. We do a whole bunch of stuff. I would be the one actually quizzing you, because anytime he messed up, I could just mess with him and make him feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Even if
I mess up a lot. I take terrible guesses often.
You do take terrible guesses, but I say how terrible you are, but then I do. If I did them, I'm sure I'd mess up too, but it's just easier to make fun of him. Okay, so AFC East winner should be pretty obvious who they have projected.
AFC East is
Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, Bills.
Patriots, Bills, obviously.
You've got to start learning your divisions. That's so funny. Yeah. I don't know if it's the fact that I used to have
It takes me a second.
It does, but like I don't know if I used to have a poster, so maybe the fact that the poster, and I remember looking at it as a kid, I just know divisions so easily
when I hear AFC East, like I don't know. I have to think about it.
It's really really weird.
NFC North is the Packers, your division.
Yeah. Okay.
And like NFC East, obviously I know that.
Right.
That one's easy, but like it takes me a second.
Okay, so AFC North.
AFC North is the.
This could be our trivia. Just what teams are in one division?
Yeah, see, it takes me. AFC North.
AFC
North division takes me forever. Anyway.
So AFC North is Ravens, Bengals.
Ravens, yeah.
Okay.
See, it doesn't make sense to me that they're the North because none of them are in the North at all. Like Ohio is the furthest they go. Like it's whatever. Anyway, I assume the Ravens are favored.
Ravens are favored, correct. AFC South. So we have Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans.
Texans.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And then AFC West. Even after last night's game,
it's still Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yep. NFC East, so your division.
It's Eagles, obviously.
Yep. NFC North after the Micah Parsons trade.
It was Packers.
And it's only by 20. So Packers win the division are plus 170, Lions plus 190. The Vikings are more favored than the Bears. That does surprise me.
I thought. Just because how they performed last year, proven coaching,
right? They have
defenseless,
an incredible defense with help me, Flores. What's his first name?
Brian
Flores. Thank you. They just have. It's just hard when you have the Bears who have. I think they have more potential.
You like? I assume it's got to be a Ben Johnson.
It's probably a favoritism, but that does surprise me. A rookie quarterback, essentially a rookie quarterback off injury, is not just a little favored. They're plus 320 to win the division. Bears are plus 650.
Yeah,
that's really surprising to me.
The Bears' secondary last year was pretty awful. Their defense was really.
It also hurts because they're on the field so much. Like remember the quote?
I know that
the quote with Caleb Williams where he's like, he's talking to the punter when he first got drafted. He's like,
you're not going to punt
a lot, and he had more punt yards than
Caleb.
Caleb had passing yards. I don't know. Plus 190 for the Lions.
And there's a lot of
that's something to consider placing because you can kind of like combine them together. So combining the Lions being obviously personal favorite, them to win the division. That
plus 190 is
that can multiply some bets pretty quick.
You'd have to do it now before they beat the Packers.
The thing is, having a division winner be plus 170 is incredible value as it is, but it's obviously a crapshoot. Okay, NFC South.
I assume it's Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, yep. And then the NFC West.
Is it?
That's Niners, Rams,
yeah.
Cardinals, Seahawks.
Is it Rams?
Oh, it's Niners.
It's Niners still? That's surprising. I really don't think the Niners are going to do very well this year.
I can't see it either. Debo.
Because when did they win 6 games last year? 7? 7.
I don't really know.
I think it was either 6 or 7.
I don't know.
But even then, CMC's up in the air with his injury.
Yep.
Ayuk's missing the first half of the year. Debo's gone. Juwan Jennings is coming off a calf injury and whatever contract.
And then Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall's it.
Their defense is incredible.
They lost Mufunga or Hufunga?
I don't know.
Their safety. They lost a couple defensive linemen.
Right.
They lost, like I said, their safety, and I think they lost a cornerback too. They lost a lot on defense. I'm really surprised that they're. I would figure it would be either the Rams. I figured it'd be the Rams.
And that's the most close knit if you look at the betting. Like the last person is the Seahawks. They have Seahawks dead last, and you said
Seahawks are dead last to win that.
Cardinals before them.
That feels.
I agree with that, but
they don't like Sam Darnold.
He's pretty high on the Seahawks.
I like their defense a lot,
but that's the most close knit. Last place is still plus 550, whereas like other divisions, like you guys doing the division, is plus 1,700. For those who don't bet out here. If you put $10 for the Giants to win the division, you would win $180 in return.
Yeah, no, that's Wait, plus 700 you said?
Plus 1,700.
Oh, 17. We're plus 17?
You are the Jets are plus 1,700.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Browns plus 3,000.
Yeah.
So you're the third worst favorited to win your division. You are less favorited than the Saints are. That's pretty rude. I think it's because they have an easier division.
But they do have an easier
pretty
division
sickening.
And an unproven division at this point.
Right. So, but anyways, you go back to
hold on. You're telling me with Rattler at quarterback, they're more favored
1,400.
We have Russ. And, well, I mean, Russ isn't
very. You're in for a tough year.
Oh man, we'll see. So if we win 7 games,
that's your expectation.
I'm very proud. I think we'll win 5 probably.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard for me to be positive about.
So let's say we're having this conversation in March. You look back on this year and you say, if I said, Louis, are you happy with this year? You say, yes, I'm happy because of this, this, and that. Mm-hmm. What 3 to 4 things would make you happy? Not necessarily maybe record, maybe a performance, maybe some sort of. What would make you, maybe a stat? What would make you happy? I can give you a couple things. Okay, go ahead.
So defensive performance, absolutely. I think if our defense performs really well, especially in the division we're in.
Okay, can I ask you what you mean by performs well? Give me something that you can. Give me a statistic.
Yeah,
give me something.
Tangible stat. Yeah, I mean, I would say I definitely. Let's see, points. We'll go points.
So what is the opponent average against you?
I hope we finish. If we finish top, I think we can finish top 10 in points against. Okay. It's tough because we have a really tough division. If we finish top half, I think I'm happy. But that feels like not big enough of a jump to really substantiate.
I would say not necessarily with the money you guys put into your defense and the amount of potential you guys have, but it's also hard because if your offense is as good as we think it's going to be, then you're on the field more often. So it's hard because
I hope we're run heavy, run focused, right? Slow the game down because I think we can be.
I think the problem
we got to run through our defense,
right? And I think the problem you're going to run into with that is the fact if you try to push the run game and you're down, I think you're going to fall down a lot and not be able to have the control you want to have. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with like my Lions. Like for us, like our run game is so key because I mean I love the Lions, but I think the limitation we have with Jared Goff is the ability to come back. Yeah. Whereas Stafford was the comeback kid. Like we could be down 20.
He's got a cannon.
Right. Absolutely, we could be down 25, and I think at any point in time we can come back just because of the explosive plays that he could do with himself. Not we have the weapons to do those
moving the defense with your eyes.
Right.
The arm talent to throw it 70 yards for real. Right. Like especially when he was back in his heyday, he can throw that thing, and he's a great quarterback.
Right. And it's
different. Not that Jared Goff's a bad quarterback.
Right. Yep. And it's not that we don't have the talent to do that. I think it's just because of the offensive scheme we have. We are so run heavy. We are so play from ahead. We are so control the pace of our game and control the way we play that when we fall behind, we lose our
point and key. Our strategy. The playoff game we talked about.
Every team wants to play from ahead, but we are heavily relying on the fact that we are playing
you are
ahead.
Really good and known to win when you're ahead.
Correct.
You rarely blow leads.
Correct.
But last year especially. But
Oh yes, last year especially.
You just see it in the playoff game last year, like we talked before. It's like as soon as you get behind, it's over.
We're trying to throw more, and not that Goff can't throw, not that we don't have incredible receivers, but it's very hard to rely on when our running backs are so talented. Arguably the best running back room in the NFL.
I think so.
So back to my expectations for my team.
Let me finish my top. You wanted me to give 3 things, right?
Oh, 3 things.
Top 10 in points against, I definitely think that's the thing. And I hope Russell Wilson starts the entire year. And I hope he has a 30 touchdown season and I hope he gets to 4,000 passing yards. If he does that, I'd be really happy. I'd be really, really happy. But that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
For my opinion, it feels a little high, but
we'll go with 3,500 and 25 passing touchdowns. I'd be really happy. Okay. Just limit the turnovers. Another thing is that can be my third thing is we need to limit turnovers. Like I would love to be bottom 5 in turnovers, but I don't think that's realistic. But if we can really limit turnovers and control the pace of the game, and hopefully our defense is really good. I think those are my top 3 things.
Okay.
And do you want to talk about top 3 things for you guys?
Yeah, but I got one more question for you. So you looking at the end of the season, you think
end of the season, yeah.
Okay, back to the March conversation. Do you think that for you guys to get to that set number of wins you said, so 7,
we'll say 7, yeah.
Do you think you end the season with Russell Wilson? Barring any injury.
If we have 7 wins,
do you think you fit with if you're a season you're happy about, do you think you finish with Russell?
It'd be really cool to see Jackson Dart sub in because I just don't want Russ to have a bad year, but it's hard to rely on him, especially with how he was last year with the Steelers towards the end of the year. He really wasn't. He didn't look anything special, and it's hard to rely on that. And our wide receiver core is nothing special. So I think probably we won't end up with him at the end of the year. I think odds are we won't. If we're 7-9, we're at some point we're gonna switch him. I think at some point we're going to switch him out for Dart, I think.
I think it's hard right now as a Giants fan is like, obviously, what we always talk, me and Louis always talk about, something to be excited about, right? Mm-hmm. Something that sells the jerseys. This last year with Neighbors was the first time you had somebody in a couple of years where it's like, holy moly, we have something to root for.
Because we got rid of Saquon. It was stupid as hell, but whatever. Should have just paid him.
Very, very frustrating.
My favorite football player.
I love
Saquon. It's got to be Eli, but like, I mean, realistically, Saquon at his peak was up there for me. Because like I said, when I know, like, you look back on the past with rose-colored glasses all the time. It's like, I love Eli Manning, and he did a great job, and I have so much respect for him, and he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. But he'll get in there sooner rather than later. But when I was younger, I didn't really it was hard for me to really get attached to him. Because I liked basketball more when I was younger.
And I think the thing with Eli is obviously he's an incredible player, but he's kind of like a cone. Like he's like not that he's not obviously with the new Manning.
Philip Rivers is a better quarterback.
Right. When I say cone, I don't necessarily mean like not moving in the quarterback. I just mean like he's dull. Like obviously the Manning cast is really cool.
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But like as of like likability and like his presence as an NFL quarterback, he's just
Giants fans love him, but outside of that.
Right, he's very similar to Philip Rivers, right? Like no one's looking at Philip Rivers like I love Philip Rivers, like other players do with Josh Allen, like other players do with Lamar Jackson, right? They like them because they're so personal and they're so obviously social media helps a lot nowadays.
Yeah, especially post career. As soon as he retired, he was hated going into his last year.
Eli,
he was the reason they benched him for Geno. They ended his Iron Man streak because. Well, Bob McAdoo did that, but because he was not playing, we weren't performing well.
Right.
And he was not looked on very well. And then, he retired and kind of got pushed out because Daniel Jones had a decent start to his career, which obviously was terrible. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. I think that was what I was curious about. Because like I said, back to the conversation of being excited. Like for me, it's exciting because I know that like obviously it's still a stretch, but I know for a fact that we can win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, you have the talent.
Their odds are still against it. Odds are against. Technically speaking, odds are against every single team.
Every Super Bowl bet.
Like there's a team that's favorited, but no one is a minus. No one is supposed to win.
Yeah.
So yes, we are probably top 5 right now in Super Bowl. I'd say top 5, top 7.
Yes, you should be top 5. I hope.
But with you guys, like.
We're bottom 5.
To even make the playoffs is a stretch for you. So
yeah, we're not making the playoffs.
I think it's hard right now as a friend of a Giants fan. As I look at you and I'm almost like, you really don't like. Obviously, NFL is so exciting, but you don't have anything really to look forward to. Like there was a couple years of me as a Lion fan where I really struggled to keep loving the game. I love football. I love football with every part of it.
No, I understand.
But there was weekends where it's like we're just gonna lose. We don't have a future and. Somehow, some way, a really good general manager hire and a really good coach hire really flip that around.
Yeah.
What do you think it'll take to get you guys to that step? What will make you excited? What will make you watch the season and go, we can make the playoffs next year? Realistically, how long do you think it's going to be until you can safely say that the Giants can make the playoffs?
For a Super Bowl.
Just make the playoffs. Do you think you can make the playoffs this year?
No.
I
don't feel like it's an outcome. I'm more of a pessimistic Giants fan than most. I would feel, especially in our area, dude.
Right. Compared to a few of our friends, we got some friends that will say the most egregious stuff about the Giants.
I feel like I'm a more realistic Giants fan, more than even pessimistic. Like I said, 7 wins is like a peak season for us because we have the toughest schedule in football, and we play a lot of good teams, especially with how the Cowboys look. Like I said before, I'm scared we won't even win a divisional game. And that would put us at like 10 losses.
It's also easy to say you have the hardest schedule when you're a bad team,
No, because statistically we have the hardest schedule also, but that's fine.
Right.
That's fine. By win percentage of last year.
Right, whatever you
think. Which doesn't mean anything this year, but it is a stat that I like to say because it makes me sad.
That's fine.
We're starting off on the wrong foot. But I would say optimally for playoffs, I think we should be able to make it in 2 years because I'm pretty hopeful for Jackson Dart. Right. I'm pretty hopeful for Jackson Dart. I'm hopeful for Cam Scadaboo and Tyron Tracy, that kind of duo. And hopefully we draft a little better with our offensive line and improve it. We have Andrew Thomas, but he's injured. We have a lot of injury-prone guys, and our offensive line needs a lot of help.
well, maybe you can go the next 5 years, keep drafting offensive linemen the first round.
5 years. I'd love to wait 5 years. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, if you keep going like you did the last couple of years, you'll just draft an offensive lineman in the first round and have him be a bust.
The worst, Eric Flowers. Evan Neal. That was a terrible draft pick. He's guard now though, so hopefully maybe moving him inside will be something. But
it won't.
But I think
it's good to know.
I think next year, no, the year after that, I think we can make the playoffs.
And I think there's a lot of Jets fans who have been saying the same thing for about 15 years now, so that's good.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
No, you'll be good.
Yeah, thank you. 15 years. That's good. Yeah. I'll look. Yeah. I mean, I can be hopeful, and I'm not even the most hopeful one. You know.
Yeah, I'd say the thing is, okay, one thing about us as fans and as football fans is we might not be the most knowledgeable. Like, I couldn't tell you every player. I probably couldn't even tell you a defensive player from each team.
Mm-hmm. No, you definitely could. Relax.
I could. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but we're definitely more realistic. You know, the things we care about and things we're passionate about, we try
to keep it a buck.
Right. We don't. I'm not like, obviously I say some egregious stuff sometimes. I reach a little bit, like everybody
sometimes
does.
Just a rage bait for real.
You rage bait a lot. I do love to make you mad. And because the thing is with Louis is awesome.
When he starts rage baiting me, I start saying the most heinous things that don't make any sense. It's the dumbest thing ever.
My whole life,
I don't know how to control it.
Right. My whole life, I feel like I've had pretty broad shoulders. Like, you can say kind of whatever you want to me, and I'll take it. And I don't take anything seriously. Like, I can throw shade at him and get him going. Yeah. And if he tries to give it back, or he tries to give it does not. It just reflects right off.
You're good at pretending to be real. Too.
Right.
You're really good at pretending to be
very good at pretending to care about something. So it gets him fueled up, and he'll say some crazy stuff.
Sometimes.
And then I'll hold on to that. It's really not a good thing.
No, because because then you point it out later, and you're like, you said this, and it makes me feel like an idiot.
You say some stupid stuff.
I'm trying to think of this. I've said some.
There was a lot of at college. Like, I would get him going, and he'd say something, and I'd immediately fall out of the rage baiting I was doing. I'd be like,
"Are you for real?
Did you hear what you just said?" Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. But I can be hopeful for the Giants in a couple years.
That was like the one time I got you so mad, and you said like Bucky Irving was like an incredible. And it totally bit me in the butt.
The great Bucky Irving.
But that was like the one that you held on to. But there was so many you said where I was just like. Another conversation I remember specifically was you talking about how good Braylon Allen was. You're like,
oh no, Brandon Allen.
Braylon Allen.
Oh yeah.
Back up for the.
He had a couple good games early on, and then,
same thing last year. He is telling me how incredible, how fantastic Breece Hall is. This guy, he's just the best. He's just the best. And mind you, he said it so much that I traded him for Jahmyr Gibbs.
He gave me Gibbs, baby. He gave me Gibbs. It was the worst trade you've ever made. Easily.
Yeah, but you still got knocked out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you make the playoffs last year?
Yeah, I made the playoffs, of course, obviously. Right. The one that I did say that really he got injured was Brandon Ayuk. I was really high on Ayuk last year.
Yeah.
I really it made a lot of sense. And this year it would have made a lot of sense.
Same with Chris Godwin. You talked a lot about Chris Godwin, and I didn't.
And he was cooking.
He was. I didn't leave you. Again, he does make a lot of egregious stuff. I
throw a lot at the wall. And
when I get him upset, he's just very emotional, and he speaks with his heart, and I can kind of manipulate that.
Yeah, no, you're really good at it.
It's fun.
Awesome.
It's fun. Yeah. It is fun.
But yeah.
So, anyways, get back on topic.
Brutal.
My 3 things.
Yeah, if you want to do 3 things,
I'll just do 3 quick because I've already talked a lot. For the Lions, I say win a division, just make the playoffs. I just don't. I really wanted to win a division because I think the thing is when
Are you happy if you just make the playoffs?
No.
You need a playoff win for sure.
Not necessarily a playoff win, just to win the division. I want to have a home game because the thing is like we are so good and we have so much talent, and like we have re-signed all these guys for 3 to 4 years. So I'm giving us, like I said, at the beginning of last year, we re-signed all those people. I said, okay, we now have 3 to 4 years of good, and after that, it's going to be how can we keep all these guys? So I said we have 3 to 4 years of success. If we don't win in those 3 to 4 years, then what is it?
You got a lot of choosing to do. Right. You got to choose. You're gonna sign Gibbs. Right. Hopefully. You figure he's still really good.
Number 1. He's got to be number 1 on our list.
And then it's between what do you got? Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Sam Laporta. Like, if J-Mo takes a jump this year, and you'll have to pay him good money.
Same thing with Hutchinson, like on his rookie contract. Like we have about now it's 2 to 3 more years of all our talented guys under contract. Just a few key pieces. Something out like last year was Carlton Davis. Now we have DJ Reader, last name.
Yes, Reader.
Yep. So I get like last year, I was like, okay, it's our first year of the good phase, and we were so successful, and obviously we got cut short.
Unfortunately,
so it's like, so now I come back in this year. If this is supposed to be our good phase, if we don't win the division, then in my mental game, I'm like, holy shoot, we're losing. We're losing grasp of everything that I thought we had. Like I feel like we have the power and have the talent to be the division champion for the next 2 to 3 years straight. Even if the Packers get better, even if the Bears make a massive leap with Ben Johnson. But again, to already see the professionals and see the books having Green Bay projected with this Micah trade, it's a little scary for me. So I think for me to say it's a good year, a division win.
Comes down. I really
potentially. Obviously, I'd be stoked with a playoff win. I'd be stoked with another NFC Championship appearance. Obviously, I'd be happy with all the normal things that would make a regular football fan happy. But specifically, my team, a division win. I would love to see J-Mo have a breakout year. That's really huge for me.
I think he's gonna.
I think he's going to as well. A lot of people are projecting it, but that's huge for me just because of what he has. What he brings to the table. He's such a diverse, unique player that I really want to see him have the year that sets him apart. He's a
freak. He's a freak of nature.
Right. He's not just a real athlete. Yeah, I can't even think of anybody compared to, but he's not just a speed demon, right? He's not a Christian Watson.
Like
he is an elite wide receiver. Like last year, he had 1,000 yards.
Amazing.
1,000 yards, and I think he missed a few games, if I remember correctly.
He got suspended, didn't he?
Did he get suspended for a couple, and then it got cut short because of the...
He got suspended for like 4 games last year, or 3 games.
I think he got cut short. Either way. Yeah.
I think he was suspended.
We'd have to stat check that. But,
yeah, we'll fact check that for sure.
But either way, just see him have a breakout year. That probably might be my second. And obviously, it's wishful thinking. I can only pray to God for this. But a healthy defense. Like... That gets us to the next level.
That will take you where you need to be.
Again, we talked like last year. We had a historic, a once in a lifetime offensive team. We had one of the best, arguably one of the best offensive teams of all time.
Absolutely,
yeah. Right along with the Rams, with the year with Gurley, and the Patriots within their 17-0 year, or whenever it was. It doesn't matter.
It's up there though.
One of the best offensive seasons, and it really does prove that defense wins championship. Like you see the Chiefs, who didn't score a 30-point game until whatever week, go 15-2.
Yeah.
It just really shows you what truly matters. The Vikings, where not that they didn't have a bad offense, they saw an incredibly electric offense, but with Aaron Jones and Sam Darnold, who are very controversial players and
performed above expectation for sure.
Right, they definitely performed above expectation, but their defense was so remarkable. That's what got them where they were. Obviously, they lost, so maybe they're not the best example, but it truly does show that defense matters more, especially in the playoffs.
The game slows down.
Like I said,
the game slows down.
We had home field. We had the loudest.
You guys play so good at home.
We have made Ford Field one of the hardest places in football to play.
I really want to see
it didn't matter.
There.
You know what I mean? It didn't matter. Historic offense, loud stadium does not win you games. It does, but it also doesn't. It doesn't when it matters.
Got to perform.
We got to show up.
And you got to have healthy defense, like you said. You
can blame the health, and obviously that sucks, but that's football. Like, obviously we had it worse than other teams, but everybody gets injured. Everybody has some sort of injury.
Definitely.
You watch any game result, and you see in the comments a million different people making excuses about injuries. Everybody has injuries.
Happened day 1 this year.
Right.
Literally kickoff, torn ACL.
Right, with that guy. ACL. Same thing. If the Cowboys somehow won, I would see a million comments. Well, the game would be different if
Jalen Carter wasn't in it, but that's his fault.
Either way, you make excuses about everything. Football is football. What happens, what happens. A million different things could have happened from the beginning to the end of the game that one player, one call, one whatever does not change a game. It is a sequence of events.
You're a big believer in that. It's
100%.
That's how life is.
I'm a huge believer in that. There was never, we should have won that game. We were supposed to win that game. Every game that you should have won and you were supposed to win, you also could have lost and should have lost. You made a 58-yarder in windy conditions, right? You should have lost that. You're supposed to miss that. You didn't.
You can even Chargers Chiefs game this past, where they got the field goal unit on really impressively fast, and were able to kick a 58-yard field goal, and he made it. Like, that could have easily missed. Now they still lost the game, but that's a big turning point at that moment. Like you could choose that if they won the game. Like, what if Omari and Hampton should have slid down, right, to burn the clock at the end of halftime? Like, there's things where you can point to and be like, oh well, that would have happened this way. But like you said, ultimately it all loops together, and it's an important.
Right, and that's the thing is I talked to a lot of fans where it's like, okay, we were 10-7 this year, but that Chiefs game we should have beat them because they got a call at the end. Okay, then we should have beat them because we missed the field goal, missed a 40-yarder at
the Broncos.
Like we missed a. No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, in general, everyone was talking about.
I'm just thinking hypothetically.
Close wins.
Right. Yeah. Let's say I look back on this season, I say we should have beat the Chiefs because they got a late call. We should have beat the Packers because we missed a 40-yarder, right? And I hate fans that do that. Well, we should have been 12-5 because of those 2 games. Okay, well, let's look at your wins. Let's look at these 10 wins and look how 7 of them went your way, something that happened to go your way. There's no shoulda, coulda, woulda. Your record is your record. What happened is what happened. It's the same thing we look at golf, right? I look at holes where it's like, like I should have shot 4 under instead of 3 under. Well, no, you made a 30-footer. You're not supposed to make that. Even if you missed a 6-footer, you weren't supposed to make the 30. Everything's a give and a take, especially in football.
So look at it this first week. I mean, a Cowboys fan at the end of the year could be like, CeeDee Lamb should have caught those passes. Should have caught the ball.
And again, let's say he caught that pass. Who knows that Javonte doesn't fumble the next snap? Who knows that Dak doesn't get strip sacked the next play? You don't know. The only way you can ever say you should have or would have lost the game is if a call or something egregious happens on the last deciding play. It's the only thing I can say. And even that is a stretch. So enough of the expectation talk, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. We'll see how the year goes. Obviously hoping for
high expexptations, low expectations.
They're both, let's put it this way, they're both realistic.
They're both pretty realistic.
They're both realistic.
Yeah, that's what we pride ourselves in. There's realistic expectations.
Because we're both realistic. So
what do we want to talk about next? Do we want to talk about MVP picks? Do we want to talk about?
No, we can say why don't we watch the first week of football and then we'll talk about MVPs because you really don't know what, God forbid, a bad injury happens to a good player.
Sure.
Let's watch the first week. Let's see. Obviously, you could argue Herbert. We've seen 4 quarterbacks play. We've seen 4 teams play. Not the time to talk about that.
I agree with that.
So what we will talk about is our fantasy league. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
Okay. I will hype up. I don't want to hype up Dayton too much. I don't know if he's gonna listen to this. It doesn't matter. We have an incredible league. Our commissioner for our league, Dayton, does a lot of really cool work with it. He has an awesome trophy for us. He pays for the name engravements on there with our team name. He pays every year for John Gruden to talk about our team and
to do our draft pick
order. Coolest thing on planet Earth. He pays
really
for
fun.
Every year. He pays for our board to get put up
with stickers.
You know, everyone knows
the
well. He does incredibly well with it. He's always on top of rules. Always on top of things that should be happening. He's always willing to change. He's not very set in stone.
He's a smart.
He's a really
football knowledge player.
He cares a lot about it. So yeah, he's really cool, and I'm very proud of the league we have. Obviously, I have my frustrations with certain things, like anybody else does.
Like Fab.
I don't like the fact that we don't do Fab. We do reverse order, which is fine.
This is waiver order for those who don't know. So, I mean, I assume most people are watching this play fantasy football, but at the end of each week, there's players that are free agents you can pick up, and there's a waiver order based on who's placed. Like first place is the last waiver order. That's what we run. And then obviously second would be second to last in order of who gets the waiver order first. So the worst player will get the first waiver pickup.
I run a little keeper league, much more small scale, only 8 guys, but I do Fab. So essentially how Fab works is you get a certain amount of money. My league's $150, and you bid on waiver players. So let's say God forbid something happens. Let's say Saquon snaps his leg next week, right? That would take their backup, who is, help me here. He just played.
Shipley, yes.
That would make his value skyrocket. No one's drafting Will Shipley, right? Because Saquon's a beast. God forbid something happens. His value rockets. And in our league, whoever's in dead last automatically is going to get him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's going to get him. And I think that's crap. If I want to spend every last dollar of my Fab on Will Shipley, that is my decision, right? And then later in the year, when I have no Fab and somebody else is a great waiver pickup, then I kick myself in the butt. That's how it should be. Right? I love
Absolutely.
What I love about fantasy football is it's so much intelligence, so much strategy, from the draft to waivers to trades to who you're going to play that week. And I think when you do reverse order, it takes every bit of talent and skill out of it. And I don't appreciate that.
And it's risky. No, but you just dislike it.
Right.
Fab is a much more fair and even way to go about it. Right. And if we were to start with it now, we could learn over time everybody's habits of spending. Like I spend a lot early because I feel like early on in the season, it's hard to find those late breakouts. Like early on, your expectations switch immediately. Like you see Xavier Worthy get injured, and now Juju is a real wide receiver that will get played.
Or if you were in a smaller league, like an 8 or 10 man, maybe Hollywood's somehow still on the waivers.
Exactly. And he would be, you'd pay a lot of money for Hollywood, especially after his performance.
Yep.
You know, if you're in a small league, you do whatever you want. Like a few years, 2 years ago with Puka and Kyron?
Oh,
like they
huge.
Nobody drafted either of them.
Whereas like at that time, Louis was the worst one on the waivers. So he gets them no matter what. Even if
I got Puka before week 1.
But let's say hypothetically.
Yeah, but hypothetically,
after the second week, he had a rough year that year.
I did, yeah.
He would be last, and he would have gotten him. And I'm sitting there like, I want him with everything inside of me.
You fab dump it all your thing on Puka because he ended the season in the top 5, I think.
He was in the first few games. He was like 10 or 12 targets, then 14 targets.
He had a few games with 20 targets. He had a game with like almost 20 catches.
I mean, he set rookie records. Besides the point, the reason why I think Fab is so, just something like I said, I already probably said it,
it's more fair.
It's just more fair, and it adds in a lot more strategy and intelligence, and that's what I love, and choice. And that's what I think fantasy is about, not where did you happen to fall this week.
Right now, I'm dead last in waiver order because I pick up people from waivers early because my draft is kind of not great.
We're going to get to that.
With you. But it's like now I'm last in waiver order, and I kind of screwed myself. Whereas before, I could have picked up those people for free and still have fab to spend going into next week.
So we don't do that. And like last year, we had a 14-man league.
Brutal.
I think it was really, it was fun, but it almost becomes a job just because it's so miserable. You're starting RB2s on bye weeks, and because we play 2 flexes, so you're starting RB2s, you're starting wide receiver 3s and flexes. You're starting tight ends in your flexes.
Brutal.
It's just too much.
A lot of
14 is too much. I think 10 or 12 is the best fantasy league, and I hope we stay with that. Like I said, Dayton made the correct.
I'm so glad we went back to 12 because he was going to do it back to 14 for a second there.
Because a lot of people wanted in. We said we have a really good league, but we really kind of displayed our frustrations with that. And again, he listened. He's a good commissioner.
Yeah, he listens. So. I really want to get him to do fab next year for sure.
That'd be the next change.
If you are listening, Dayton, which you aren't, but. Right. Fab is matters a lot to me.
And I think those few points that we made is a quick, easy example as to why. Just especially with Dayton, he's just so good at it that I'm very surprised that he hasn't.
I can't believe he didn't
thought about that. Just because
I talked about
he is quite talented at fantasy football. That it just surprised me that he wouldn't even.
I talked with him last year, and I mentioned it because I was in a bowling league with him, and I talked to him about it. I was like, we should do fab, and he sounded on board.
Right.
He was a few. Beverages deep, of course, so maybe it was just kind of him being a yes man a little bit, but it sounded like it made sense, so I was hopeful, but I didn't voice it enough, I guess. So,
and I think the thing is too, like I think we already fought our battle with going to 12-man, and that was such a hard thing because he has to cut out friends, he has to cut out people that he's really
these
close
are people
with.
he really knows in real life. Like we all know pretty much.
We know every single person,
every single person.
Right. So having to drop 2 guys was hard because you're cutting your close friends who aren't the happiest that they have to leave the league, but. He did do his right. He chose a couple players.
He chose people who don't really participate
as much as they should be for a $100 league.
It is $100 again, which I thought it was going to be $50.
I'm so glad it is.
I'm kind of happy
because I really think it makes people invested. And we did $100 with 14 at one point. Last year it was 50, but when we did 100 with 14, absolutely miserable because it's just like it really feels like a job. Whereas 100 with 12 is just enough where I can have more talented players, and I really can.
You feel like you can compete. You feel like
your team's more
rounded.
I have control. There's times with the 14-man where there's just nowhere to look. I'm trying to pick somebody who's projected 7.5 on waivers. It's miserable. It's absolutely. It's absolutely.
Even right now, the running backs on waivers, it's all backups.
Right.
All backups, which makes.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's a 12-team league. Yeah. But
14 is pretty egregious. I would recommend not doing it.
No.
So yeah,
I think our bench is a little too deep.
I think he has way too many bench players. I think 17 rounds is far too much. But again, we pick our battles. So we got the one we wanted this year. So maybe next year our push.
12 teams a big win there for us. For sure.
Right. And we care so much, and we're so invested in fantasy football that like Dayton unfortunately takes a lot of our opinions because we kind of think as one sometimes in those, and we agree on a lot of things when it comes to that because we can talk to each other quite easily, share ideas, and kind of come to a consensus. So when we kind of push as one. So when he has 2 people who really care about fantasy,
he trusts us,
right? Who really watch football, and he's like, okay, they're both coming to me pretty adamantly. Let's try to make this happen, right? Talk to the other people.
I absolutely care about fantasy football a lot. I do, and I watch a lot of other fantasy football podcasts, and I try to stay on top of things. And this year, I'm hoping to do a lot more of my own research and make this, and then we can talk back and forth, and hopefully, I can improve myself. And hopefully we'll have some guests on. I'd like to have Dayton on the podcast at some point, if that's an idea you'd like to do.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because he's a smart bettor. He's a very knowledgeable
We bet, again, me and Louis bet probably about, that's it. I'm usually about $20 a week. I try, I might make more money now, but I try to just he said, let's put it this way. When I bet, I want to bet whatever I'm comfortable losing when I have no money, right? So let's say I have $100. If I'm comfortable losing 10, 20, then that's all I should be comfortable losing if I have thousands. So I stick with that. Dayton bets a lot more aggressively, a lot more intelligent. He does. He's up and down. Everybody's up and down. If you're listening to this, by the way, and you don't bet, do not bet. We are none of this is promoting betting. We're just talking about it because we already have made the choice to do it. You're not gonna change our minds, but do not do it. Okay, this is not a betting podcast. This is not to tell you why you should bet and why it's good for you. I fortunately have been really prosperous in that, but it's not 199 times out of 100, it's not. You lose.
More often than not, you're going to lose money. I
Yep.
know from experience.
Right.
And that's why you limit it to, like he said, when you have no money, you shouldn't be gambling. When you have a lot of money, you should limit your gambling to what you would do if you were.
If I had none.
If you had no money.
If I had a couple $100.
You need to pay your electric bill, bro. You need to pay your water bill. You need to pay your car insurance. Those things matter.
Right.
Gambling on a silly game every week doesn't matter. That's why you play fantasy football leagues, where it's like a one-time payment, and you get every week. You get kind of that if you have an urge, you get that something.
And what's awesome about fantasy is you don't have to pay. That's a choice. We're choosing to.
Free leagues out there. There's so many discords where you can join free leagues.
Yep.
You can go online and join a bunch of free leagues. There's a yearly league a bunch of podcasters do that you can join. Like there's a bunch of free leagues you can do. Right. And there's no reason to put your money out there.
Yeah, 100%. Do not ever gamble. Like I said, if you want to make the personal choice, awesome. But don't let the way we talk about it and the way it's maybe been prosperous for me influence you into doing it. Just don't do it. But you can listen to us talk about it because we do love to talk about it. Like I said, we've already made the choice. We've already grew the love for it. That's on us. That's our own mistake. But that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, back to now that we've got that out of the way and we said it, every time we talk about betting, I'm probably going to say that just to kind of cover us.
So the last part of this video got cut out. So I'm just going to kind of fill this in. Basically, we are going to talk about more fantasy football the next time on the next recording. Kind of focus on our draft and stuff. We appreciate anyone who's listened. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see or constructive criticism, we're willing to listen. This is our podcast, though, so we will stay true to us. Thank you all. So like and subscribe, please, and hopefully we can build something here. Have a great day.